Hey, church, I've been thinking about a few things here this week. So I'll just start rattling them off here and tie them together and offer a little encouragement, hopefully, for you going into the weekend. So one, we're going to be talking about sin on Sunday, Genesis 3. The fall, Adam and Eve taking of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and plunging humanity into a destiny where we are doomed to die. So thinking about the reality of that, thinking about this Sunday being Reformation Sunday, where churches world over just give pause to thank the Lord for his goodness in giving the gift of the reclamation of the gospel in the Western Church, especially through the Protestant Reformation. And how those teachings, that doctrine that flowed out of the Protestant Reformation through guys like Martin Luther and John Calvin and Zwingli, and before them, John Huss and Wycliffe, and so many giants of church history, the things that they cherished and the things that they taught as it relates to the gospel, or as it relates to sin, that we cannot deny the reality that the problem with this world is that it is plagued with sin, and we are doomed to die. That is the great burden that we are all up against, the thing that we all face, the destiny that is sure for us all, and our understanding of the grandeur and the glory of God when coming together with the reality of sin. The two cannot mesh. They can't be together apart from the hope of Christ. And so just in thinking of those, the five solas of the Reformation, grace alone, faith alone, scripture alone, Christ alone, for the glory of God alone. Where does our hope reside in those things? The doctrine that's been summarized with the acronym TULIP, total depravity. All right, so this is just tying in with Genesis 3. This is what we're after, that we're all like Adam. We're all in him. We're all doomed to die in him. And we're all inclined to have the same proclivities towards sin that he and his bride had, because we're all now depraved. We're sinful to the uttermost. Unconditional election, right? That we have no hope apart from God setting his love upon us and atoning for us. That definite atonement or limited atonement, that we have a sure and steady confidence because Christ died. We know that we actually have a hope that Christ will save us, and that he calls us by his irresistible grace upon grace, and that it's not up to us to be faithful or be sinless by any stretch of the imagination. Like, we're not saved by grace and then preserved and sanctified in our own effort, by our own works, but instead he guarantees the perseverance of the saints, these great truths of the Reformation that we cherish and that we love and that we see stand forth from Scripture. So our sin, Reformation Sunday coming together, ought to cultivate in us a depth of humility. Who are we that God would set his love and affection on us? Who are we that we might have any claim to the presence of the Lord, to dwell in his unique presence for all eternity as his redeemed people? And then throwing into the mix some different interactions that I've had this week. And then looking ahead to Monday. I was just looking there. It's end of October. The leaves have turned and are falling and littering our lawns. And with that is the annual tradition of trick-or-treaters and Halloween. And so just thinking of these different things meshing together, that some interactions that I've had this week, and God knows the interactions that will come Monday as we try to be a blessing to our neighbors and to speak of the light that has come into the world to cast out darkness. Who knows? Who knows what the Lord will have in store? And so under the providence of God and under the sovereignty of God, to press into the humility that He cultivates in us by His Spirit, because of those great truths that Scripture holds out to us. So the encouragement, friends, to you is to reckon with your own sin, and in humility, and receive and relish, delight in, glory in the grace of God, and press into the opportunities that come your way. Lord knows, right? The things that you've come up against this week, probably you weren't planning. There's probably, some stuff has kind of gone as normal, but there's, I would venture to guess, plenty of things that have arisen over the course of the week. And as we look into the weekend, that will not be according to our plans or as we would think. But God knew. He's in control over it all. He's writing the story. So how might you couple the hope of the humility of the doctrines of grace for sinners such as us, that you might leverage those providential moments for His name's sake? That's kind of what I've been just dwelling on here this afternoon some, and would encourage you to give thought to as well. So we'll talk more about these things come Sunday, Lord willing, as we look at Genesis 3. So hope you have a great weekend, and looking forward to seeing you then.